Humanity spent centuries looking up at the stars, wondering what waited beyond the sky. But eventually looking was no longer enough, and we had to go there. After decades of research, failed missions, and relentless determination, humanity finally reached Mars, and this time the mission carried only one person. A 25-year-old astronaut named Elena Voss, sent farther and more alone than any human before her. As her spacecraft descended toward the red planet, the thin Martian atmosphere glowed faintly around the hull, and endless deserts of crimson sand stretched beneath her. The landing maneuver was one of the most dangerous in human history, because Mars offers almost no atmosphere to slow a spacecraft, and every second must be perfect. But this time, the landing succeeded, and Elena Voss became the first human to step onto the surface of Mars. The planet was quieter than she imagined. The wind slowly carried fine red dust across an endless horizon while the dark sky hung silently above the alien landscape, and as Elena walked away from her spacecraft, she believed she was completely alone, until she noticed something impossible in the distance. A massive structure half buried beneath the Martian sand. It was ancient, silent, and clearly not built by human hands. Drawn by curiosity, Elena approached the structure and stepped inside its dark interior, where strange symbols covered metallic walls and faint blue lights flickered deep within the chamber. And in that moment she realized she might be standing inside the greatest discovery in human history, proof that humanity was not alone in the universe. But Mars does not give up its secrets easily. The ground suddenly trembled, and the ancient structure began to shake as dust and fragments fell from the ceiling, forcing Elena to run back toward the exit. Outside, the horizon had changed. A massive Martian dust storm was rising in the distance, growing larger every second. Storms on Mars can swallow entire regions of the planet, and the sky quickly darkened as violent winds lifted red dust into the air. Elena could barely see through the storm, but somewhere ahead of her was the only safe place left, her spacecraft. Fighting against the wind, she ran across the desert while the storm closed in around her, visibility fading as the world turned into a wall of swirling red sand, until finally she saw the faint outline of her ship through the storm. The hatch opened automatically as she reached it, and Elena climbed inside just as the full force of the storm struck the hull. Moments later, the engines ignited, powerful thrusters blasted the Martian dust outward, and the spacecraft lifted from the surface of the red planet, rising higher and higher, until Mars slowly faded beneath her. Elena Voss had survived the mission, but she knew something humanity did not yet understand. Mars was not just a dead world, because hidden beneath its silent deserts was evidence that something had once been there, and perhaps it was still waiting.